So you want to learn English properly. Maybe you've been studying for months or even years, but you still feel stuck. You know grammar rules, you have vocabulary lists, but when it's time to speak, nothing comes out right. Well, today, I'm going to share with you the real secrets of learning English. Not the boring textbook way, but methods that actually work. Let me start with the biggest mistake most people make. They think learning English is like studying mathematics. They memorize rules, they write down every grammar point, and they expect that one day everything will just click. But here's the truth. Language learning doesn't work that way. English is not just knowledge you put in your head. It's a skill you build, like playing a sport or a musical instrument. The secret to learning English quickly is simple: exposure. You need to surround yourself with English as much as possible. Research shows that full immersion is the most effective method. Now, you might be thinking, but I don't live in an English-speaking country. That's okay. You can create your own immersion environment right at home. Here's what I mean. Think about your daily activities. What do you do every day? Maybe you listen to music while exercising, or watch videos during lunch, or read before bed. Now, imagine converting just one of these activities to English. Start small. If you listen to podcasts in your language, find one English podcast about a topic you love: sports, cooking, technology, whatever interests you. When you do this, you're not studying. You're living your normal life, but in English. The key is to make this so natural that it doesn't feel like work. 1 billion people speak English worldwide, and most of them didn't learn it by sitting in classrooms for hours. They learned by using it, by making mistakes, by talking to people, by watching movies, by reading stories they enjoyed. Now let's talk about speaking. Probably the scariest part for most learners. Many people understand English well. They can read articles, they can watch movies with subtitles, but when someone asks them a question, they freeze. Why? Fear of mistakes. This is the second big mistake people make, being afraid to speak because they might say something wrong. But here's something important to understand. Mistakes are your best teacher. Every mistake you make is actually helping your brain learn what not to do next time. Native speakers make mistakes too. The difference is, they don't care. They just keep talking. I want you to change your mindset today. Instead of thinking, I must speak perfectly, start thinking, I will practice speaking, and each mistake teaches me something. Find opportunities to speak English. This could be with a language exchange partner online, with friends who are also learning, or even talking to yourself. Yes, talking to yourself in English is actually a great practice method. Here's a simple exercise you can try. Describe your day in English. While you're making breakfast, say out loud, I'm making eggs. I'm toasting bread. The coffee smells good. This might feel strange at first, but it trains your brain to think in English. And the more you think in English, the faster you'll speak when you need to. Another powerful technique is called shadowing. This means you listen to a clear English speaker, maybe a YouTuber, a teacher, or a movie character, and you repeat exactly what they say immediately after hearing it. This helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and natural speech patterns. Try it for just 10 minutes a day, and you'll notice improvements in how natural you sound. Speaking of pronunciation, don't worry about having a perfect accent. There are many different English accents around the world: British, American, Australian, Indian, Nigerian, and they're all valid. The goal isn't to sound exactly like a native speaker from London or New York. The goal is to be clear and understood. Let's move on to vocabulary. How do you learn new words effectively? Well, forget about memorizing long lists of words you'll probably never use. Instead, learn vocabulary in context. When you find a new word, don't just write down its translation. Write down the whole sentence where you found it. This helps you understand how the word is actually used. Here's a method that works incredibly well: spaced repetition. This technique involves reviewing material at increasing intervals, which helps you remember information better over time. You can use apps or even simple flashcards. The important thing is that you review words just before you're about to forget them. This locks them into your long-term memory. Focus on high-frequency words first. There are about 3,000 words in English that cover 90% of everyday conversations. Start with these common words and phrases. Learn words like get, make, take, and have. These simple verbs have many different meanings and are used constantly. And here's something interesting. Learn phrases, not just single words. In real English, we use phrases and expressions all the time. Instead of just learning the word angry, learn phrases like lose your temper, get upset, or be furious. This way, you're learning how English speakers actually talk. Reading is another fantastic way to build vocabulary, but choose reading materials that match your level and interest you. If you force yourself to read difficult academic texts about topics you don't care about, you'll get bored and quit. Start with simple stories, news articles about subjects you love, or even comic books. Yes, comic books are great for language learning. The pictures help you understand context, and the language is usually natural and conversational. Let's discuss grammar. Many learners make grammar their main focus, spending hours studying verb tenses and sentence structures. But here's a better approach. Learn grammar through use, not just rules. When you read a lot and listen a lot, you start to develop a feeling for what sounds right. This is called intuitive grammar, and it's how children learn their first language. That said, some grammar basics are essential. Focus on fundamentals, like verb tenses, pronouns, and sentence structure. Once you understand the foundation, you can build on it naturally through practice. Don't try to learn every grammar rule before you start speaking. That's like trying to learn all the rules of swimming before getting in the water. You'll never actually learn to swim. A common mistake learners make is direct translation from their native language. Each language has its own logic and structure. What makes sense in your language might sound strange in English. For example, in some languages, you might say, I have hunger, but in English, we say, I am hungry. Pay attention to these differences and learn how English expresses ideas in its own way. Let me share some specific mistakes to avoid. First, watch out for articles, an, and the. These are difficult for many learners because not all languages use them. Remember, a and an are for non-specific things. A dog, an apple, and the is for specific things. The dog we saw yesterday. Second, be careful with prepositions. These little words, in, on, at, by, for, can be tricky because they don't always translate directly. The best way to learn them is through exposure and practice. Also, avoid double negatives. In English, you don't use two negative words together. Instead of, I didn't meet nobody, say, I didn't meet anybody. Now, let's talk about consistency, perhaps the most important factor in learning English successfully. Many people start with great enthusiasm, study hard for a few weeks, then stop. Then they feel guilty, start again, stop again. This cycle doesn't work. Language learning requires regular practice, even if it's just a little bit each day. Research has shown that if you want to master a skill, you must practice it daily. Set aside time every day, even just 30 minutes to an hour. The key is consistency over intensity. Studying English for 20 minutes every single day is much better than studying for 3 hours once a week. Your brain needs regular exposure to build connections and retain information. Here's how to make this work. Connect English to something you already do daily. Do you check your phone first thing in the morning? Change your phone's language to English. Do you scroll through social media? Follow English-speaking accounts about your interests. Do you exercise? Listen to English podcasts or music while you work out. Small changes like these add up to hours of English exposure every week. Set clear, specific goals. Instead of saying, I want to improve my English, say, I want to have a 10-minute conversation in English by March, or I want to understand an English movie without subtitles by June. When your goals are specific and measurable, you can track your progress, and this keeps you motivated. Write down your achievements. Did you successfully order food in English? Did you understand a song's lyrics? Celebrate these small wins? And speaking of motivation, here's the final point I want to make. Don't get discouraged. Learning English, like learning any language, can be a roller coaster ride. There will be days when you feel like you can't do anything right. Every language learner experiences this. The difference between people who become fluent and people who quit is simple. The fluent ones kept going, even when it was hard. So let me summarize the key points for you. First, immerse yourself in English every day through activities you already enjoy. Second, don't be afraid to make mistakes when speaking. They're essential for learning. Third, learn vocabulary in context using spaced repetition. Fourth, develop intuitive grammar through exposure rather than just memorizing rules. Fifth, be consistent with small daily practice rather than occasional long study sessions. And finally, stay motivated by setting clear goals and celebrating your progress. Remember, over 1.5 billion people around the world speak English, and most of them are not native speakers. They learned it, and so can you. The question is not whether you can learn English. You absolutely can. The question is, are you willing to practice regularly, make mistakes, and keep going even when it feels difficult? English opens incredible doors. It connects you to people from different cultures, gives you access to more information online, improves your career opportunities, and allows you to travel with confidence. These benefits are worth the effort. So start today. Pick one thing from this podcast. Maybe it's changing your phone to English, or finding an English podcast about your favorite topic, or practicing speaking for just 5 minutes. Do that one thing today, then tomorrow, keep doing it. And the day after that. Before you know it, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Learning English the right way isn't about finding magic tricks or shortcuts. It's about consistent practice, using the language in ways you enjoy, learning from your mistakes, and never giving up. You've got this. Now go out there and start practicing. Good luck on your English learning journey.